Venice isn't just a city, it's a riddle written in water, a dream suspended on salt and stone, a living canvas of faded glories and vibrant pulses. Here, every alley has a secret, every ripple remembers the past, and every traveler leaves with a piece of their soul left behind. Today, we set sail, not on a countdown, but a voyage. One that winds through the 15 most wondrous places in Venice, each explored in the order the city herself would whisper to you, were she to take your hand. So, hop in. We're not tourists here, we're time travelers. Hit that like button and subscribe to Rome Cache, because the canals we're about to drift down lead far deeper than guidebooks ever go. Number 15. Grand Canal. The Grand Canal is more than a waterway. It's Venice's main artery, pumping life through the city's very core. Stretching like a giant reverse S through the heart of the lagoon, it flows for nearly 4 kilometers, flanked by more than 170 centuries-old palazzos. But these aren't just pretty buildings. They're scrolls of stone, each bearing the stories of merchants, nobles, and foreign envoys who once changed the world from their balconies. From sunrise, when golden light bounces off the Gothic arches, of Dorsoduro to twilight, when water glimmers like liquid fire under the Rialto Bridge, the Grand Canal hums with poetry. Gondoliers sing arias passed down generations, and vaporettos crisscross with locals sipping espresso like it's any other day. But there's nothing ordinary here. Every swirl of water carries whispers from Casanova's mischief to the Doge's decrees. To glide down this canal is to drift across centuries in the most romantic current history ever conjured. Number 14. Basilica di Santa Maria della Salute. Standing like a divine sculpture where the Grand Canal kisses the lagoon, Santa Maria della Salute is not just a church, it's a vow carved in stone. Built in 1631 after a devastating plague, the basilica was a desperate plea for mercy, a monument offered to the Virgin Mary in return for salvation. And she answered, "The structure itself is like a white lotus rising from the water, its enormous octagonal dome dominating the skyline of Dorsoduro. But step inside, and silence grips you. Light pours through the windows like liquid grace, illuminating masterpieces by Titian and Tintoretto. The air smells of candle wax and ancient prayer. The floor is a mosaic of geometric patterns designed to draw your gaze heavenward and your spirit with it. Locals don't just visit, they pilgrimage. And on November 21st, the Festa della Salute floods the Basilica with Venetians crossing a temporary bridge of boats, still honoring the promise made 400 years ago. It's faith etched into architecture, a holy echo in marble. Number 13. Church of Santa Maria del Giglio. At first glance, Santa Maria del Giglio, also called Santa Maria Zobenigo, looks more like a theatrical backdrop than a church. Its facade doesn't even show a single saint. Instead, it's a celebration of one, man's ambition, Admiral Antonio Barbaro. With maps of his naval victories etched in marble and statues of himself and his family adorning the exterior, this church is a full-on 17th century flex. But go inside, and you're met with a surprisingly intimate Baroque jewel box. The walls glow with golden stucco and delicate paintings. The masterpiece? A rare Rubens altarpiece that shimmers like divine fire. The atmosphere? A mix of noble pride and spiritual yearning. This church doesn't just tell stories, it brags them. And in Venice, where every stone has ego, that's exactly the kind of honesty we love. Number 12. St. Mark's Square, Piazza San Marco. To step into Piazza San Marco is to step into the very heartbeat of Venice, a place Napoleon once called the drawing room of Europe. And indeed, it feels like the world's most elegant living room, framed by architectural grandeur and flooded with drama. Surrounded by the ornate arches of the Procurati buildings and guarded by the towering campanile, the square shifts identities throughout the day. At dawn, it's a tranquil cathedral of light. By midday, it becomes a buzzing theater where pigeons and people share the stage. At night, under the stars and cafe orchestras, it turns into a ballroom of shadows and melodies. This is where emperors marched, revolutions brewed, and tourists now sip overpriced coffee at Cafe Florian, the oldest cafe in the world. And when the Acqua Alta, seasonal flooding, rises, the square turns into a surreal, reflective lake, a mirror of both sky and time. Number 11. St. Mark's Basilica. Behind the pigeons and orchestras of Piazza San Marco rises something celestial, St. Mark's Basilica. But this isn't just a church, it's a treasure chest encrusted with 1,000 years of history, conquest, and devotion. Built to house the stolen relics of St. Mark, smuggled from Alexandria under barrels of pork to fool Muslim guards, the Basilica was Venice's way of saying, "We're not just a city, we're a kingdom of divine right." The outside glitters with mosaics and domes that look more Byzantine than Italian. Inside, oh, it's a symphony of gold. The Pala d'Oro, the golden altarpiece behind the high altar, glimmers with nearly 2,000 gems. The walls and ceilings shimmer with over 8,000 square meters of mosaics, telling stories from Genesis to the life of Christ. You don't walk through this place. You float through it, awash in divine light and hushed awe. This isn't just where Venice worshipped, it's where it flaunted its piety and power in equal measure. Number 10. Doge's Palace, just steps away. From the Basilica lies the Palazzo Ducale, the Doge's Palace, once the seat of Venice's mighty republic and the very brain of the floating empire. Its pink and white Gothic facade is delicate, almost lace-like, but don't be fooled. This palace was home to a government that controlled trade routes, armies, and the destiny of the Mediterranean. Inside, you'll find Sala del Maggior Consiglio, one of the largest rooms in Europe without columns. The walls drip with grandeur. Epic oil paintings by Veronese and Tintoretto tell tales of glory and punishment. Speaking of punishment, the palace also houses the once-feared chamber of the Council of Ten, where espionage and justice were dealt in whispers. The most haunting part? The secret passage across the Bridge of Sighs, where convicted prisoners took one final look at the lagoon before descending into the darkness of the cells. You can almost hear their breath hitch, the last sigh of freedom. That's not legend, it's real history, carved in cold stone and echoing footsteps. Number 9. Bridge of Sighs. A marble archway suspended in air, connecting power to punishment, the Bridge of Sighs is one of Venice's most iconic sights, and its beauty hides a somber truth. Built in the early 1600s, this enclosed bridge connects the interrogation rooms of the Doge's Palace to the prison cells across the canal. Its name wasn't romantic at first, it was literal. It was said that prisoners crossing this bridge would sigh at their last glimpse of Venice through the small stone-grilled windows before disappearing into confinement. The light at the end of this tunnel wasn't hope. It was the last kiss of the outside world. But today, couples float beneath it on gondolas, sharing kisses in the hopes of sealing eternal love. That juxtaposition melancholy above, romance below is the essence of Venice itself. Heartbreak and beauty forever intertwined. Number 8. San Giorgio Maggiore. Across the lagoon from the frenzy of San Marco, on its own quiet islet, rises the majestic silhouette of San Giorgio Maggiore, with its pristine white marble facade designed by Palladio and its soaring campanile. Mirroring the one across the water, it feels like Venice's quieter, more contemplative twin. Step inside, and silence falls like a blessing. The church is an architectural masterpiece. Clean lines, perfect symmetry, and a flood of natural light that bathes the space in serenity. But the real treasures hang on the walls. Tintoretto's paintings, especially The Last Supper, which stretches the drama of the scene with swirling shadows and dynamic light. Climb the bell tower, and Venice will unfold before you like a living map. From here, the city doesn't feel chaotic. It feels like poetry. Every red-tiled roof, every bell tower, every shimmer of water, it's all part of a grand design. This is where you come to see the soul of Venice, not just its body. Number 7. Basilica dei Santi Giovanni e Paolo, tucked into the northern quarter of the city, is a Gothic giant. Basilica dei Santi Giovanni e Paolo, or Zanipolo to locals. It's Venice's answer to the Pantheon, the final resting place of 25 doges, each entombed in extravagant, marble-clad monuments that practically whisper their legacies from beyond the grave. Built by the Dominicans, the church is massive. The vaulted ceilings soar like aspirations. Sunlight streams through stained glass onto intricately carved tombs that seem to glow with pride. And don't miss the equestrian statue just outside. Bartolomeo Colleoni, a mercenary captain so powerful, he demanded his statue face San Marco. And technically, the city obeyed. This basilica isn't just a church. It's a chronicle of power, faith, and the people who ruled Venice when it ruled the world. Number 6. Museo Correre. Facing the hustle of St. Mark's Square, the Museo Correre is often overlooked by tourists racing toward the Basilica. But step inside, and you're stepping into the very mind of Venice. This is where the city keeps its memories. Ancient maps, priceless artifacts, paintings, naval relics, and imperial chambers that once housed Austrian royalty. Walk through halls that retrace Venice's metamorphosis, from marshland to maritime titan. Marvel at Canova's delicate sculptures, browse manuscripts that shape trade routes, and peek into a royal bedroom so opulent it makes Versailles blush. It's the hidden half of Venice's identity. Not the merchant, but the intellectual, the quiet collector of knowledge and culture. Number 5. Murano. Sail just a few minutes north from Venice, and you'll find yourself in Murano, where art is born from flame. This island has been the heartbeat of Venetian glassmaking since the 13th century, when the city banished its fiery furnaces here to prevent catastrophic fires in the main city. What seemed like exile turned into legend. As you step onto Murano, the air smells faintly of the sea and molten ambition. Inside the glowing workshops, master artisans, called maestri vetri, still manipulate 1,000-degree molten glass into delicate chandeliers, flowing goblets, and mythical figures using techniques handed down over 700 years. Watch closely. There's magic in every twist of their iron rods and every puff of breath that shapes a shimmering orb. You'll find the Museo del Vetro here, where you can walk through centuries of craftsmanship. From Roman glass beads to Renaissance goblets so intricate they defy logic, each piece tells of Venice's obsession with beauty, secrecy, and innovation. Murano isn't just an island, it's a forge where Venice's soul gets reshaped, over and over in fire and brilliance. Number 4. Burano. Now glide eastward and enter a dream painted by hand. Burano. You'll see it before you dock. Houses in firecracker reds, sunflower yellows, seafoam greens, and cotton candy blues. It's not just for aesthetics. According to local legend, fishermen painted their homes in vivid colors so they could spot them through the thick fog of the lagoon, or after a few too many glasses of wine. But Burano isn't just colorful, it's textured. This island is the cradle of Venetian lacework. So delicate it looks like it could vanish in the breeze. In the quiet Museo del Merletto, you'll see lace made by women whose fingers moved faster than thought, crafting patterns of flowers, birds, and saints that took months or even years to complete. As you walk Burano's narrow alleys, you'll hear the clang of cutlery from open windows, smell risotto bubbling with fresh seafood, and catch gossip traded across canal bridges. It's more than a postcard, it's Venice unfiltered, vibrant, human, and humming with life. Number 3. Dorsoduro. Welcome to Dorsoduro, where Venice drops its mask and gets real. This southern sestiere district is the city's soul in denim. Less touristy, more lived in, full of students, artists, and thinkers who sip espresso with ink-stained fingers and ideas swirling like espresso foam. At its heart lies the Gallery dell'Accademia, a treasure vault of Venetian painting that holds masterpieces by Titian, Tintoretto, Veronese, and even Da Vinci sketches. These aren't just paintings, they're time machines. You don't just see a scene, you enter it. Wander to the Zattere Promenade, and you'll find locals basking in the sun, couples eating gelato on benches, and the smell of wood-fired pizza dancing through the air. Nearby, the Church of Santa Maria della Salute stands like a guardian at the Grand Canal's mouth, its Baroque dome a silhouette against every sunset. In Dorsoduro, Venice feels alive. Not just a museum of stone and water, but a city with a heartbeat, a sense of humor, and a rebellious twinkle in its eye. Number 2. Castello. Stretching from San Marco to the eastern edge of Venice is Castello, the city's largest and most overlooked district. But this neighborhood has secrets no guidebook can capture. Here, past the tourist trails, lies Arsenale di Venezia, the ancient shipyard that once churned out a galley a day during Venice's golden age. It was here that the maritime empire was built, where engineers, blacksmiths, and carpenters worked in military-level secrecy. The Arsenale wasn't just a shipyard, it was the world's first assembly line, centuries before Ford. But Castello isn't all war and iron. There's the Giardini della Biennale, a lush park lined with pavilions from around the globe, hosting one of the world's most prestigious contemporary art festivals. When Biennale is on, Castello becomes a wild blend of avant-garde installations, surreal sculptures, and art that punches you in the gut. And in the heart of it all are quiet canals, clotheslines strung over alleyways, and old women gossiping. In dialect, it's Venice at its rawest, proud, poetic, and fiercely authentic. Number 1. Punta della Dogana. Where the Grand Canal meets the Giudecca Canal, right at the edge of Dorsoduro, lies a triangular shard of soul and stone, Punta della Dogana. Once a customs house that watched over every merchant ship entering the city, today it's a temple of contemporary art wrapped in centuries of salt-stained history. Restored by Japanese architect Tadao Ando, its fusion of raw Venetian brick and minimalist concrete whispers of contrasts, old and new, silence and chaos, shadow and illumination. But this isn't just about art on walls. It's about art becoming part of Venice itself. Step inside, and you'll feel like you've entered a dream where modern masterpieces converse with the ghosts of sailors and spice traders. The halls feel like cathedrals of thought, where each installation isn't just displayed, it breathes, echoing against wood-beamed ceilings and worn stone floors that once felt the boots of empire. Step outside to the prow of this stone ship, and the view explodes. San Marco gleaming across the canal, Santa Maria della Salute rising behind you, gondolas gliding past like musical notes. Here, Venice isn't remembered. It's reimagined. Punta della Dogana isn't just a destination. It's a punctuation mark, where Venice ends, begins, and reinvents itself again and again. The perfect final stop on our voyage through this riddle of a city. Because in Venice, endings are never really endings. They're reflections on water, on history, on us. This is where our journey ends, not with grandeur, but with a revelation. Venice doesn't show its soul to everyone, but for those who look deeper, who wander slower, who listen closely, Venice will whisper secrets older than time, cast in stone and shimmered on water. So, which wonder of Venice stole your heart? Was it the golden glow of St. Mark's Basilica, the rainbow joy of Burano, or the shadowed silence of the Bridge of Sighs? Let me know in the comments, and tell me which Italian city or region you want us to explore next with this immersive, cinematic storytelling style. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next drop of magic from Rome Cash. Until then, keep wandering. Venice never really leaves you.